I recently updated my Minecraft Forever world to the Copper Age, and I have been loving so many of the new features, like the cute little copper golem. As a builder, one of the most intriguing features to me, though, has always been the new shelf blocks. And today, I want to make a build that showcases them and lets me try to experiment with a few of their uses in building. I am Joshgetslost, and of course, I'm doing the obvious thing when you want to make a huge build. I'm planting a gigantic wheat field. You'll see why in a minute, but for right now, I went and decided that this little region of the cove of my Forever World starting village would become really a coast of golden wheat. And so I began planting fields. I also began to incorporate some of the materials I collected out in the desert, like the short and tall dry grass, as well as incorporating the firefly bushes throughout so that we'd have these cool particle effects and glowing. And I just think they match and blend well in between the greens of the grass and the golden colors of the wheat. And here we go. Beautiful wheat field all grown up. Hope you guys are doing well. Today, we're gonna be getting busy because I've got some projects to do. I really want to transform this whole area across the coast. You can already see the beginning. That's not even all the wheat I want to plant before this episode is done. But first, I gotta begin collecting some resources in order to make this work. And so let me sail over to our storage room and see what materials I already have on hand, because hopefully I don't have to grit everything from scratch today. So I always love coming back here. It's such a beautiful little starter room. Hello, copper golem. Yep, that's what I want. Some water. Yep, I sailed all the way across the sea for a glass bottle. That's all right. I'm still thinking about potentially putting a bridge over here, but I also don't want to block the view of everything that's getting built up over in the starter village, and I kind of like having my house set apart as its own little thing across the river. So if you've got ideas, maybe put the bridge maybe on the backside of the house where it doesn't obstruct the view. There's maybe a spot to do that. But down here, what I want to do is create a little kind of mud pit. You're going to see why here later in the episode. But one of the easiest ways to make a mud pit is just to take dirt and a water bottle and just start mashing that right click button, because not only does the mud keep the grass from taking over and give it kind of a more trod upon feel without having to use like path blocks or things like that, but some animals, prefer the mud. Put in the comments below what your wildest guesses are for what animal I'm going to put down here in this area. But that's my goal, is to make this pond a little bit of a muddy area. And so we can have a nice little spot for our animals down below the wheat. Whew, my finger's getting tired of clicking. And I haven't even really begun doing most of the work for this episode. So let's continue on. Well, I did some more, and part of it's looking good, but man, that is definitely way too square over on this one side. So let me round this out a bit. As you know, in real life, ponds do not take square shapes. So let me maybe add a little to the corners here and then round it off a little bit. And maybe I will dig into it a little as well to give it a little more, just a little more rounded off shape, because that's just way more natural looking for a body of water. And then I'll have to find my bucket and fix the water issue here. All right, I have my bucket on me still. Thank goodness. Oh, and it's all fixed. Boom. All right, there we go. We've got our nice muddy pond down here. I've transformed this and excited for what I'm going to do with it here in a little bit. All right, time to get working up top and gathering resources for our big build. I began our resource collection by chopping maybe one or two of everyone's favorite tree, the mangrove tree, and by one or two, I mean a lot. Thankfully, with our moss farm going, I had a lot of bone meal to speed up the growth of these trees, but man, sometimes they are a pain to climb, especially when they go really, really tall. definitely would love to make a farm of that someday. Then I grabbed a bunch of the pale oak that I gathered during looking for the creaking heart on the previous episode, and began to strip it so that we could have our shelves. Shelves are kind of an expensive recipe. It takes 6 logs, stripped logs, and you get 6 shelves. So basically 1 log per shelf, which puts it, fairly high up. Maybe not quite as expensive as, say, trapdoors. Although I have to do the math. I guess trapdoors are, you get 2 for 6 planks, which means it's 3 planks. So that's 3/4 of a log per trapdoor. So yeah, shelves are more expensive than trapdoors. So they're definitely something in survival that you want to think through how you use, but at least I like chopping trees, generally speaking, except for the mangrove ones. They're not my favorites. Although I did figure out a trick. In order to make the process quicker, I started shearing all the leaves off, and as I collected the leaves, I've actually taken them back to my smelting room in order to be able to burn them, because if you burn leaves now in a furnace, you get the leaf debris, which is something that we can decorate with and use around the farm as well. I actually think it looks really cool as kind of like muddy footprints being dragged from one area to the other. So let me know what uses have you guys found for the leaf debris, but that's something I'm going to be, at least while I'm still manually doing mangrove, I definitely want to collect the leaves. It goes a little faster there, and because the leaves don't drop saplings, you don't have to worry about that. You just use the propagules that are already grown on the underside, so they're a great leaf. They don't look that great, so great leaf to burn for your leaf debris. And of course, what's a Minecraft build project without some old-fashioned dirt removal? I would call it terraforming, but for me, terraforming is about shaping a massive quantity of land in order to make it, such as removing like a hill or making a mountain, kind of more of using the ground and earth as a building palette rather than just flattening out an area. That doesn't really seem like terraforming to me. Although I think by the time the scope of this build is done, with all that we're doing with the wheat fields and ponds and rivers and things, maybe we are getting into a little bit of terraforming. You let me know. What do you think of when you think of the word terraforming in Minecraft? Is flattening a few dirt blocks terraforming, or is it mostly limited to more using actual terrain, removing and building stuff to shape your world more of what you're thinking of? Let me know. And with the final bits of leveling out the build here, we are going to get started on our project for today. All those mangrove and pale oak have all been for one reason. That's right, today I'm building a barn. All right, here is the main body of our barn. It took me quite a while to get the shape of that roof down, but man, I really enjoy it. It was a tough building decision. I was trying to decide sort of how modern looking to make the barn. I mean, obviously this is a medieval world. We're not going too far into the future. But I mean, basic building shapes for a lot of these things have existed. And because this is our town of whatever, saturation town, Hueville, vibrance, Ooh, the Village of Vibrance. Maybe that could be it. This town is all about color. This village is located right next to a flower forest. I've been incorporating lots of color into all the builds so far. Even that one with the dark tone has this bright blue. But man, there is our barn. We've got obviously the mangrove. We've got the pale oak. And then, of course, on the roof, we use deep slate to have that kind of dark tile looking texture. And so there it is up on the hill. And so let me show you guys a little bit closer a few of the things that I did with this. I do want to close that in eventually. It's very dark and kind of scary. And I'm going to have to find some lights to put down there, as well as make a nice path up here. But obviously there is one use of our shelves, the trim all the way around that middle section of the barn. The shelves, pale oak shelves there look really nice. And then you can kind of see, I'm using the FreeCam mod here to show you guys this. We've got our little runner where the doors would slide off to one side. One door is closed, one is open. And then we've got this nice, I just think that looks so nice there around the strip. But we also use pale oak we also used the shelves in a few other ways. One is to match with the doors. Instead of having doors on the side and doors, to make these doors kind of have their three-dimensional depth where they would be, I use the shelves as the outside parts of the doors in order to get the look that I wanted for that. Can anyone else see another area where I used a shelf in here? If you said right here, these textures with a little bit of kind of knobbly things in the corner, that's just a stripped log, but some of those are shelves. If you use the backside, it has a very unique texture that I think just kind of breaks up some of the pattern. And of course you can see inside here, that's where the shelving is. And it does add a little bit of depth to the wall, as some of it's full planks and some of it is shelves. Now it looks a little bit goofy on the inside, and I need to get this place lit up a little bit more. It's mob proof, but it's still dark, especially with the shaders. But you can see where the pale oak, or where the shelves are on that side. And of course here, this back one is not the circular window. We'll be putting in a loft up there, probably for hay storage and things like that. My goal is to move over our cow farm over here, but I'll show you guys as we get farther on. I need some ideas for things to do. I'm not putting sheep over here because sheep farms, I'm going to need to make something that is really focused on automatic shearing of the sheep. Oh, we're getting our particles. One nice thing about the rain, it might look dark for YouTube, but we do get some of our firefly particles going up in the air. I really wish they made it a slider or something where you could control how far those particles spread, because you feel like you have to get really close to them to see them, and I wish I could see them from a little farther back. Of course, down there we're going to have another farming element going in. But yeah, what do you think about the use of these shelves so far? We used them indoors as trim. We've also used them for the backside texture in the walls. Let me know as the sun rises over our barn. And we are not done yet. I'm going to have to head up there soon and get some animals for our farm. Picking up on another part of our project, we are continuing the river up from this lower pond. So I'm adding in the mud because I just think it looks so much better underneath water than the dirt does. My goal eventually, I think, is to have a waterfall coming down this mountain, but I think I want to make an automated one like I did over on the Basement Craft SMP using dispensers, and we are not near the capacity for producing that amount of dispensers right now. So I'm going to continue planting wheat, filling in this section, and being able to make our rivers and ponds look just a little bit better. Let me remove this because I don't need it anymore. Got a full expanded pond up here. Give me some dirt. And I'm going to keep planting some more wheat here and there and everywhere around. So I have my light overlay turned on, and oh man, that is a very dark spot right across from my house. I want to test the lighting of the new copper lanterns. You can see there, full 15 is what a torch gives us, and it looks like the copper lantern does the same, at least in its unoxidized orange state. I'm wondering if that will change like the copper bulbs, or if that's something that they just decided for aesthetic reasons just to leave constant. Um, but that means we can basically, wherever we would have used a torch or a regular lantern, we can use one of the new copper lanterns. And I've got a few spots on the barn. I kind of want to use these all over for our lighting in this area. And so I was just crafting a few of those. Man, I can't wait. I'm hoping they update so that villagers can trade those, because regular lanterns I use a lot. Now, I was talking earlier about the leaf debris, and here's what I mean. You can take it, put it on something like mud, and it kind of looks like little footprints headed off. And then if you use it on the blocks that aren't, say, the mud or where it changes, it kind of can blend in a little bit of that. Now, this is very unscientific. I'm just kind of mashing these around and seeing how they go. Now, whichever direction you're facing, it always goes counterclockwise from the lower right of the block that you're placing until it fills up with all four. So you kind of have to turn if you want to get some different views there. There we go. Kind of get a different part of the block. But it looks like now, like somebody's been walking around here with muddy feet, and their the dried dirt from their footprints is sort of still on here. Some of these guys might get removed. I got to add a fence in down here in a while. But yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about. And might as well use all the leaves I get from the mangrove chopping to do something useful. You just burn them in the furnace and you have your leaf debris. Very easy. And there we go. Ooh, the orange really goes well with the red. I might have to wax these later, but I'll see what the other shades look like as well. All right, I am putting lanterns on the walls in here because I'm going to be changing the ground. Grass obviously would not grow underneath the roof of a barn, especially with animals walking all over it. And so we're going to be changing out the flooring in here. Ignore those heads in the shelves there. Definitely did not kill any wandering traders that happened to come by. Let me put my copper up and find one of my favorite things to play around with. Ignore those leads and those leather. Those have nothing to do, again, with anything that we may or may not have found in there. So one of my favorite blocks to use for things like paths is actually not the path block, although, I mean, it works for what it is. I like to use coarse dirt. It keeps from turning into grass. It's easy to get because I always find that I have a ton of gravel and a ton of dirt in my worlds as I'm shaping them. And because it's not lower than the ground like the path block, it's much easier to staircase and not have to worry about like revealing some non-matching or air block underneath the block that you put. And so I think for a lot of at least this part of the world that we have, we'll be using coarse dirt as our paths and road. Hopefully eventually all these villages over to our house and in between the different farms and buildings of this village will have paths, and so we can use this coarse dirt to create those paths. And I want to make a little walkway here from down by the mud pit. This is all dirt we're saying is, okay, it's not mud anymore, it's away from the water, but it has been transformed by people walking on it, and grass is not regrown for whatever reason. So just kind of shaping out a path. I don't want this to be a full like road, this part, but I think the shapes are diagonal is gonna kind of force me to make it wider than I want. Here we go. All right, and then it's going to join with another road that's coming sort of crossways here. So I'm kind of thinking of how that would look, where I want that to meet up. So I want a road eventually going up kind of straight towards the village over this way. And so this one will just kind of connect here at the base, and then we'll work our way up to the top of the hill and make it nice gradual so that, say, if I was riding a horse or something, or leading a bunch of cows up towards the barn, it would be very easy to get there. Let's just we're not gonna make the full road back to the village today, but just want to get it kind of pointed in the right direction. That's just regular dirt, so that'll turn to grass. We got here just junk. All right. All right, so there we go. Obviously, that is a very steep hill, so we're gonna have to pull this back a little and start our climb in order to level it out a bit. Let's see what we can do. Join me back again here in a minute. I paused the hill. I figured I better get the actual top part done first so I can actually see where I need to pull it back from. So we're going to be coming in here, bringing in the coarse dirt all in front of our barn, because obviously this would be a high traffic area. Maybe leave a little grass right in front of the middle section there, because I mean, who's gonna walk into there? Place these. I will have to replace the doors because you can't remove what's below a door and keep a door going. Apparently hinges work really weird in Minecraft. They work from the ground and not from the sides, but nevertheless, that's not coarse dirt. Clicked the wrong thing. All right. Let's get these doors back here. Oh, there's the other one. All right. Make sure I'm facing the right way. This one. Oh, great. This door that's open, I've got to actually remove this to put it back. There we go. All right, so we've got our dirt pathing heading in and the little bit of greenery throughout. Let me make that curve a little. There's just not a lot of space up here, and I don't want to completely gut this. There we go. I want to do path blocks around the side, but I don't want to do them right next to the barn. You can see there, you see a little bit of dirt poking through, and it's kind of showing that our foundation of the barn is just dirt, which, in our heads, it would be something a lot more solid. So going back inside, we're going to continue coarse dirt along these edges where the stalls and the animals would be. Let's go ahead and, not quite that far. Let's take that to the edge here and just go. Let me just do the edge. That would be smart. Just get the edge done. There we go. And get all this grass cut. I'm actually going to leave this back area open. I've got a plan for what I want to do with it, sort of a inside out container for the cattle that will have a very specific purpose. But for now, we're going to fill it all in with coarse dirt, and let's figure out what we want to do in the middle before I dig too much here. All right, let's get it filled in. There's nothing quite like just being in Minecraft, placing blocks, having fun. I do really, really enjoy that. And it's been fun coming back to this Forever world, which is a lot earlier game than what I was doing on the SMP videos. Speaking of which, the playlist is on there if you guys want to check those out. One of those videos, I created a 26,000 block dragon, and it has the least views of almost any video on my channel. And it's amazing. So go check it out if you've enjoyed this and want to see something on a much, much larger scale. All right. Don't want to go quite as far over this way because I want a path coming out of here on this side over to the wheat. All right, where's our middle? There's our middle. We're going to have a path blocks down the middle, and we're going to make this 3 wide. Should I? Yep. You know what? I'm gonna replace those grass eventually, but for now we'll do that. Make sure to use our regular dirt here so we don't waste the gravel. And then we're just gonna kind of curve this out around, and we'll leave the special area that's inside out only kind of on one side of the barn. And you'll see what I'm talking about later when I'm completely done. And I'm going to need to make some more coarse dirt, but you can kind of see what it's going to look like. Let me replace that one with something a little more substantive. All right, bringing our attentions back to the outside. We're going to be planting some carrots down here. No particular reason. It has nothing to do with the animal that's going to go in this muddy pit. Have you guys figured it out? Any of you geniuses? I'm really trying not to spoil the surprise, but I'm sure some of you guys got it. Yeah, if you haven't figured it out, we're building a pig pen down here for pigs. I actually don't use pigs for meat unless I'm like at the very beginning of the game and just desperate for something to eat. And even then, I'd prefer to kill sheep or cows because they give you leather and wool, which you need early game as well. So it's sort of a 2-for-1. But I do want to have some friendly little pigs in a nice little spot. So there we go. You can also see here I used some spruce planks, spruce slabs, that is, to sort of gradually take this up. I don't love this dirt edge. We may end up putting a retaining wall there. But this is where we want to have carrots nearby so that we can feed the pigs and breed them should we want to. And we're just going to have a lot of fun getting some pigs down here. I'm going to bring this out and make it a little less angular than it is. All right, I'm gonna work on this a little bit. I don't love all the ways it goes, but that's all right. Let's maybe make that a little higher. There we go. Oh, time to sleep. When you have shaders, it gets dark. When it gets dark really fast. And of course, what would a pig pen be without, fences to actually keep the pigs inside of it? Which way do I want these gates to face? Let's do a double gate. I always like having the option to pull double in. All right. Don't always love the way fences connect to terrain, so we'll see if we can kind of blend this in a bit. I wonder, let's make this a little higher. There we go. And we don't actually need them there, so we'll start them. Minecraft, get your inventory under control. I don't even have that many blocks yet in this world, and I'm still running out of space. Turn that into dirt. And now we can start the fence over here. There we go. Would have to potentially worry about creepers or something falling into the pig pen, but I'm gonna have enough lights around here. I don't think it's going to be an issue. And as you guys know, I pretty much sleep all the time. All right, let me finish off this fence. Okay, I was looking for something to keep them from dropping out, but also allow these to sort of be stacked like this. And I think a bamboo trapdoor is going to blend in kind of nicely and also keep the pigs from using the hay bales to jump over. Now, you might be like, why are there hay bales down by The pigs, I don't know. They just are. They look farmy. I'm trying not to use too many things like barrels and stuff just because I haven't decided where all the villagers are going in the world. And as you guys know, barrels, composters, they look great. But when you're trying to move villagers around, they tend to see them as workstations and try to go to them. So speaking of going to them, let's head on up to the mountain where I saw a couple pigs hanging out. Ooh, that's actually not a bad cave for some of our quartz and andesite, or granite and andesite, and maybe copper. We'll have to check that out sometime, perhaps. As we get building maybe a little more this way, we'll have to light up a little bit more. But let's head up here on top of this hill. And I know there's at least 2 pigs up here just chilling. You guys want to be the start of a new pig colony? Yeah? How would you like to go play in the mud instead of having to mountain climb like a bunch of goats? Ooh, goats. I do need some goats someday. Maybe I can go find some of those and bring them back with a happy guest. Maybe that could be one of the things in our stable besides cows. Because in the barn, I want to have cows and animals like that, but I want to do something completely different for horses, a little bit closer over to where my cottage is. So I've already got kind of an idea for that. So I want to save horses for over there, but definitely could possibly put some goats in over here. Not a bad idea. At least some for show. If we want to make like a goat horn farm or something, we'd have to make a whole separate build for that, but we'll get there eventually. All right, guys, you guys come in. You are the first residents. And I do like that the leads make a really loud sound now when they break. So it's a little easier when you're moving. And our first baby pig of the world, little piglet. I don't have any name tags. Otherwise, I would give you guys some awesome names. But for now, welcome to your new home. Enjoy it. Bye, cute little pigs. And while our pigs play around in the mud and try to jump on that stupid trapdoor that I put in, I'm going to collect materials for another part. Because after all, what is a barn without a silo to go beside it? And so I gathered a bunch of stone and andesite, combined it with some moss and other things, as well as a little bit more pale oak wood, believe it or not, to finish off some stairs. And boom, we now have a silo. You can see the shadow of it there to go with our barn. All right, I'm doing a little bit of work here. Use these trapdoors to make like a very simple bridge, just like you'd find on a farm, a board crossing over the little creek in order to make it easy to traverse. Got a little bit of path, used a bit more stone in some of this as we got over here, just to differentiate it from the worn ground. That's not really a path by the barn to something that people actually maybe put a little bit of time in. And you can come all the way down here and enjoy. Are you serious? Sir, this wheat field is not your home. Where is my bow? Owie. I swear, if you trampled my wheat field, are you the only one? Children of the corn over here. Yikes. As I was saying before we were so rudely interrupted, we've got a nice little path down there to the pond. My bed is over here. Bouncy. There we go. All right. Let's kind of check out our wheat, see if Doofus over there messed up anything. I think we're good. Man, I have had so many pillager patrols spawn by. Like, I haven't even shown them on camera. Half of them have just wandered by up and down the mountain behind me without even noticing I'm there. But it's been pretty crazy. So I caught a brief moment of rain as I was heading back here with some more supplies. And just wanted to show what this looks like now. I've added a lot more of the firefly bushes throughout. I was able to get a few more of those. And man, I really wish they would make more of the particles from these. Let me add a bit of that. I am loving these short and tall dry grass. I think just kind of blends. You can put it on a grass block and it blends in the wheat with the greenery a little bit. Kind of like the firefly bush does as well, with having both green and yellow in its coloring. But man, I love the particles. Too bad you can only see them when it's night or when it's raining. And you can only see them if you're really, really close. But nevertheless, I don't like that corner. Please scooch in a little bit. Thank you. We've got this wonderful ground here. Nice little bridge. We're going to add a few more of these back here. Eventually, I'd like to add like I said earlier, a waterfall up behind here to show where this creek's coming from. Maybe also take the water down a different way. There's another big pond down there that I'd like to actually maybe build some houses around. So we'll see what we end up doing with that. Oops, that was a misclick. Yeah, here we go. We've got our barn, and I think it's time to get working on the cow part of it now that we've got our silo and a lot of our landscaping done. One of the things that has bugged me every time I've come back here to feed pigs or just walking back from my supply area was just to not like this giant wall of dirt. And so I'm going to kind of add a cobblestone retaining wall here up against the side of the hill like you'd find to keep landslides from happening and protect the farm ground below. So let me take care of this. And with free cam, yeah, I think I'm all right with that. I may mess with the tops a little bit more. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna get rid of those walls. It was a good idea, but it's definitely not working. That's part of the building process, continuing to change. And let's see, lower that down a little, and try not to smash all this grass. All right, still not in love with the walls. I think I'll fix them. But for now, time to work on the interior of the barn. For the interior of the barn, I'm just going to use spruce. No need to kind of keep using the more expensive things like mangrove or even pale oak. We've got that. Spruce will add a nice contrast. It'll blend in well with the deep slate up top, and it has that, wooden barn quality. Especially if we strip it in here that we want. And I think will work well for our rafters and for our interiors of the barn. All right, let me, come on. There we go. I know I've gotten comments before that some people hate strip spruce. I think you're crazy. So that's my personal opinion, though. If you are crazy, go ahead and subscribe. Let's pretend like we're counting here for a reason. These are totally not symmetrical at all, but they're not really made for holding up the barn as much as holding up the loft and the eventual stalls that will go in it. We're not going to get to the stalls today. This one is actually going to be the edge of our, see how high we want to do the loft. Let's go up to here. I want to go one. There we go. We'll make a nice loft up here. We'll store hay up and maybe I'll put a telescope. Maybe I can use an armor stand or something to make it look like it's looking out the window up into the night sky. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so this will be where our loft starts. We'll have ladders going up it on one side. Maybe a rope, something that looks like a rope hanging down it where people would haul up bales of hay rather than just manually like trying to carry them up or something. So yeah, I need a lot more. I don't have Elytra. I cannot do a little flutter jump over to the next beam. Things you forget when you've been playing much later stage Minecraft for a while. You can't just float to other places. So we'll put the loft up there and we'll get back to it. All right, we've got the loft in. It's not fully decorated, but it is in. We've got our cow area set up. I just heard a loud rip. I believe that is the sound of a lead breaking, which is nice. It used to kind of just break and you wouldn't hardly hear it, and then you'd be like, "Oh wait, where'd my animal or my lead go?" But now it's very loud, maybe too loud, but at least you know when your lead is going. I've definitely smoothed this out. I filled in that one pond and lit up the water underneath so we don't get a bunch of drowned spawning underneath our farm here. You can see I fixed it with just some stairs instead of walls on that retaining wall. Come on in, guys. Come on. Come in. Oh, did one of them break? I used up my wheat on the... Oh, come on. Who's still attached? I know who's not attached. That bum. Oh, I almost had you. I have a gate right there, but I don't want to risk losing the cows, so... There we go. Come back, man. Come back. There we go. I've got a few more cows to bring over and show you guys what I'm doing with the chains over here, but that'll have to wait till next time. If you have ideas for the interior of the barn, let me know. I'm Joshgetslost. Hope you have enjoyed this barn build as we continue to play in my Minecraft Forever world. And I hope that you guys will join me in the next one. Make sure you don't miss an episode, subscribe, and I'll see you all later.